Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the fourth episode of the MCR saga. Here in this series I will be analyzing games played with the Mahjong Competitive Rules, or otherwise known as MCR. And in this episode we will be analyzing one of my own games, which I've played this week. And the goal is to show you how to make a plan on building hands and hopefully win quickly. So let's start with the analysis. We are in East 1 and I've found the option on how to hide other players' hands. They're edited and so now we can just look at the game and see how it went. So this is the starting hand. We are in the east position, so we have the first discard, and so basically if you don't see a plan right away, my suggestion is always just discard all of the honor tiles, right? But looking at this hand, you can maybe already anticipate possible plans that may emerge, right? So right now we do not have like 3 confirmed shapes in the making for a specific fan, but there are lots of options that you can look out for. The shape in the bamboo suit here is very good in forming a pure straight, for example, right? You only need to draw the 1 or 2 of bamboo to be able to pursue this plan. You also see the upcomings of a mixed shifted chows, right, by drawing the 2 or the 4 of characters. And so we have to keep looking out for this one. But again, the easiest decision is just to discard the honor tiles, right? And of course, we want to keep the 4 hardened possibility in the east as long as possible. So okay, this draw already is an excellent draw, right? By drawing this tile, we already can or are already able to pursue this plan of the mixed shifted chows. That looks like this, as shown in the bottom. So if you see the 7 of bamboo or the 8 of bamboo coming out from the left hand side, you should call it immediately. So this is also a very good tile. Okay, so now with this draw we gain the additional option of pursuing a mixed straight that has the following shapes. So these ones here, and it also improves the shape around the 6 of circles, accepting the 4 of circles as well. So here we should discard the 8 of circles here. Okay, so the opposite player has quite a fast hand with a very obvious plan of the all types hand, but again, you should for now you should just focus on your own hand, and you just don't care what the others are doing, right? We have our own plans, they have their plans, and yeah, it just comes down whose tiles comes first, right? So okay, here just try to get the tiles that we want. So that was a very good draw, and now the question is, what should you discard in this moment? And again, I have already mentioned we have 2 plans here, the mixed shifted chows in the bamboo suit and the mixed straight, and the only shape that does not contribute to this plan is the 1 and the 2 of circles. So we should start by discarding either one of these tiles. Yes, and here, as I mentioned, as soon as the 7 or the 8 of bamboo comes out from the left hand side, you should call it immediately. and here you should call it with a 5 and 6, right? And now you're missing the final shape with a 7 and 8 of with the 8 of bamboo. Okay, so at this point we are still missing a pair, which if you have followed my last series with the one away, right? So right now we are one away from calling. Having no pair at one away is actually a pretty bad situation. So we're basically hoping to draw a pair from the 5 and the 6 of circles, which is not very likely to happen. And we also want to get these this 8 of bamboo, right? And by the way, if we draw the 7 or the 9 of bamboo into the pair, that is not as bad as you may think, because it improves our one away, because then we can go for the mixed shifted chows like so. So we still have like this option available to us. So yeah, this is also something that you might be looking out for. Okay, so this was is obviously very lucky, drawing into the a ready hand immediately with a headless shape. So yeah, so now the hand is waiting, and we can just skip to the end and see if we get the 8 of bamboo. Oops, that was the wrong button. We got the 8 of bamboo, right? Okay. So yeah, now we're moving to this hand and discarding the 2 flowers, and now we are yeah, we just have this starting hand. And again, if you don't see anything right away, you should just start by discarding all of the honor tiles. Okay. So, okay, now we have discarded all of the honor tiles, and now we can start thinking. Okay, so when you see of this hand, right, if you are a very good player, then your first option or first plan that you should be looking out for is the plan of the reversible tiles. So let me bring up this fan right here. So here 8-point fan reversible tiles, where your hand only consists of these tiles. And if you look at this hand right here, if you count how many of these tiles you already have in your hand, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right now 10 out of the 14 tiles in your hand are reversible, and you already have one good shape. So this 2 in the pair, you have the completed 1 of circles, you have the partial shape, so the incompleted with a 3 and a 5 of circles. Alright, and you can easily draw something around this 6 of bamboo, for example, right? So this is one possible way this hand can develop. And the second possible way is the mixed shifted chows. So we already have this shape in our hand, we already have this shape partially confirmed, and yeah, so this 4 of characters draw here actually allows us to hope for something like this. Okay, and if you think about the other way around, so you want to have, so we have this shape partially confirmed, we maybe also have this shape partially confirmed. This 4 of characters can also develop in this direction, right, to form this mixed chow. So this 4 of characters is actually a very valuable tile. And so this means we need to discard one tile that contributes to the plan of the reversible tiles. And my suggestion of discard here is the 8 of circles, because you can only use the 8 of circles with the reversible tiles if you draw this another 8 of circles. Right, remember this shape 7, 8, 9 of circles, it is not a reversible shape because of the 7 of circles. So this is why here my suggestion is to discard the 8 of circles. Okay, so this tile obviously, as shown below, contributes to the plan of the mixed shifted chows, but it forfeits the plan of the mixed of the reversible tiles. But here, since we get it so readily, my suggestion is we just call this tile, right? And we should discard here either the 9 of bamboo is fine or the 2 of bamboo is fine. So here I decided for the 9 of bamboo. Okay. So now obviously we are hoping to draw anything around the 4 of characters, right? Because we still have both ways of the mixed shifted chows options open, right? And we're just praying that we get it eventually. Okay, so again, just start discarding. Okay, now this tile, it might not seem useful right now, but it is actually very useful because it allows us to pursue more options by discarding the 2 of bamboo. All right, so here now we have both the options of the 1, 2, 3 of bamboo. All right, we have this shape partially confirmed. So again, this was the first mixed shifted chows option, right? But now by getting the 2, 3, 4 of bamboo, right? We could discard the 1 of bamboo as well. We already have this option available as well, right? So by having this option, all right, we can also go for the 2, 3, 4 or the 4, 5, 6, all right? So this is a very, very powerful one away that we have gotten here. So we are still hoping to draw something around the 4 of characters. Okay, so this call here, right, it's a very sneaky call, but what I've done here is I have switched the plan towards the mixed shifted chows, which is also possible by drawing the 4 of bamboo, right? If you see this shape here, right, this mixed shifted chows, the pure shifted chows, right? We also already have 2 shapes confirmed, but the caveat here is it's quite a risky play because we are waiting on the last 5 of bamboo at this point, right? We see 3, 5 of bamboos already out. So we're hoping for the last 5 of bamboo, right? But the advantage of this play is that we have a very good one away, much better than before. So before we weren't even one away, but now we are one away from calling, and we can accept a lot of tiles, right? Okay, so we got into the one away very, very quickly, and we obviously discarded the 1 of circles. Now, you should also notice that we, by this last discard of the 2 of bamboo, which we obviously didn't take because we want the 5 of bamboo for our 16 fan card, this discard resulted in 3 of the 2 of bamboos have been discarded, right? So now the 5 of bamboo is last tile and pure shifted chows, but we can now also win on the 2 of bamboo, all right? Because now the 2 of bamboo is also last tile, which is 4 fan, right? We also have all chows, which makes it 6 fan. We have 1 voided suit, which is 7 fan, and then you have to see we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the bamboo suit, which makes it 8 fan. So the 2 of bamboo also allows us to win this hand, right? So now with this discard, we are waiting for the 2 and the 5 of bamboo, both last tile. So let's see if we can get this one. And we got this one, right? So we were ready. The second discard of the second row, right? Which, if you manage to do this, right, your winning chances are very high, right? Even if it's last tile. So, okay, let's move on to the next hand. have this situation. And here from this spot, right, we have a pair of red dragons. We have already 3 shapes in the circle suit. So the obvious plan here and the easiest one is to go for half flush in the circle suit. But since I also wanted to preserve the options of switching to all types, right, if we manage to get very quick shapes in the other suits, the discard here should be the one of characters. Okay, we draw more circles, so then we should definitely confirm the plan of going for the half flush, right? And now, whenever we commit to right, so again, if you maybe followed my last video of the one away, I consider fans such as half flush, full flush, right, range based types very, very easy and straightforward to play, right? You just keep all the tiles that contribute to this fan, and you don't really have to worry about specific shapes and such, right? You call anything that you can get, and yeah, red dragon comes out, we just take it. Alright, so okay, that was unfortunate. Okay, right, so again, we just click through this very quickly because, yeah, circle comes out, we throw away the least likely tile we can get. For example, east wind is already called, we just discard it, and yeah. Okay, so now the 2 of circles comes out, we can call it, right? And yeah, I would recommend it to call it with a 2, with a 1 and a 3, right? Since we can still get pure straight, right? So if we call the 1, 2, 3, right, we have 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9 possibilities. But here I already know I misclicked the chow, right? So I accidentally clicked on the 2, 3, 4, which is a minor error, right? Yeah, but it shouldn't be that bad, and didn't matter anyway, right? Somebody else won immediately after. Okay. So let's move on to the next hand. Okay, so again, look at this hand. It is very, very free, right? So the best thing that can happen to you when playing MCR, that's what I always say, is you start with a wind pair and a dragon pair, right? Because then you have basically 2 plans, and depending on what you get, then you can pursue it, right? Plan A is all types, plan B is half flush, right? Both are worth 6 fan, and here in this spot, right, if we draw into a circle immediately, then it's going to be all types, and if we draw a character, one more character shape around the 6 of characters, it's going to be half flush. We draw around the 6 of characters, so we immediately pursue this plan, right? So again, very easy to play hand. We can call something, we call something, and then we just discard accordingly, right? We keep this tile, of course, because we can now upgrade from this edge weight to a 2-sided weight, right, potentially. And yeah, and as I said, it happened, right? And it also makes our hand potentially more expensive, right? Because now you notice that we can here potentially get this one right here. So the mixed pure shifted chows in the character suit, right? So the best tile we can draw right now would be the 7 of characters, right? Confirming the 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8 pure shifted chows in the character suit. Okay, this tile comes out, we call it, and we are waiting, right? But again, with this call here, right, this is only worth 1 fan, half flush worth 6, so you need to make sure you have indeed 8 fan, right? And in our case, as I said, the 7 of characters, the best winning tile. It gives us pure shifted chows worth 16 fan. And the other side, the 4 of characters, is the pure double chow worth 1 fan. So we have, for the 4 of characters, win with 8 fan. And the other side, we win with a lot more, right? So again, we are ready. We're calling in the first row. So we should be winning this hand, especially we're waiting two-sided. So let's skip to the end and see if I get this tile. And I got the smaller one, worth 8 fan, plus 1 flower. Okay, let's move on to this hand here. So, if we look at this hand, right, it is not a very good hand, right? You have 4 single honors and you have already see something like the 4 and the 7. So the first step here is you start a count, right? How many tiles do you have for knitted and honors? So for 7 is 2, 2, 5 here, 3 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 honor tiles, which is 9 for knitted, straight, and honors. And in my opinion, right, that is my opinion, if you have less than 10, right, and you don't have a lot of acceptance for the 10th tile, which we do not have, then it is not worth to pursue knitted, straights, and honors, right? So we have 9, which is less than 10. So in this case, my suggestion is to discard all of the honor tiles.
Peng.
Okay, here, this tile I called because it is part of one of the so-called prime shapes, right, which are the 1, 2, 3, the 4, 5, 6, and the 6, 7, 8. So these are the prime shapes. So whenever you see one of these tiles here, right, that completes one of these prime shapes, you can just call them, because it leaves you with options, right, with the most options that you can have, right? And in this case, right, if you don't see anything immediately, you can still do it, right? And I already clicked out the potential plan that can form by this call, right? Because now we have the 4, 5, 6 in the bamboo suit confirmed, we have the 1, 2, 3 in the circles partially confirmed, and now we are basically hoping for the 8 of the 9 of characters, right? But this is only one possibility, right? We still haven't discarded all of our honor tiles yet. Maybe we can get something else, right? So maybe one draw in the circle suit. Maybe we can already go for pure shifted chows, right? So okay, so we call this and we keep discarding honor tiles. Okay, that was an excellent draw. So now we're hoping for something around the 8 and the 9 of characters, right? But there are also other options that might be quite nice. For example, we are hoping to draw something around this 5 of circles, right? Because now, in that case, we can also pursue the fan for the pure shifted chows, which is worth slightly more, right? So we want something like this to appear in our hand, right? So we also need to look out for circle tiles. Okay, so again, these tiles, these bamboo tiles, are not very useful at the moment. So discarding them, and now we drew the 8 of characters, right? So here we discard the 6, and now we have the maximum acceptance, and right, so if we can make a ready hand, we should do so immediately. Right, so nothing comes out for now. So here we can pong the 5 of circles. We discard the 7 of circles, and we are calling for the 9 of characters for mixed straight. And let's skip to the end and see if I get it.
胡
Somebody else won. A self-drawn 31 fan, so huge hand, right? Okay, let's move on to the next hand. And yeah, discard all of the honor tiles first. Okay. Now, this is the first moment where we can actually call something. And here we have the choice of calling the 9 of bamboo. Now the question to you is, would you call this tile, yes or no? And the correct answer, in my opinion, here is you should definitely call this tile, right? Because if you look at the hand more closely, you have 4 shapes that you can call for the fan of upper 4. Alright, you have the 6 and the 7. You want the 8 of bamboo. You have the pair of the 9, which you can pong. You have the pair of the 6 circles you can pong. You can call the 7 of circles, right? So already 4 partially confirmed shapes, and you also have the 7 of characters, which can easily draw into another shape. So 5 shapes for upper 4, and it's also a very easy hand to play. So yeah, so in my opinion, just call this one and just discard all of the lower tiles. We wanted this one, right? But yeah, so we draw into upgrade again. The advantage of upper 4 here, if you have many shapes, you can upgrade everything very easily, right? If you draw a tile fitting into the upper 4 range, it's just very easy to use, and it most of the time just upgrades your acceptance.
Pong.
So here 7 of bamboo comes out, we pong it, right? And yeah, another tile comes out, call, and now we are 1 away from calling, right? With a very, very good acceptance.
Pong.
So this tile is unfortunately useless. And now we're calling for the 8 of characters, right? So I won't skip to the end right now to see if you get it, because there is still more development in this hand, right? Because if you notice the player on the right hand side, he is for sure going for something like a half flush or a full flush in the character suit. So we won't get the 8 of characters very easily, right? So at some moment in the game, let's see when this happens.
Gong.
So not here yet. So right at this point, I can switch my weight to the 7 of characters and the 6 of circles, right? And judging in this situation here, I definitely have the suspicion that the player on my right will not discard the 8 of characters, right? And yeah, and lots of circles have been discarded also by the other players, so my assumption was that the 6 of circles will come out more easily than the 8 of characters. And also by dropping, if I would drop the 7, right, a lot of the time they are just waiting for 8 and 9 of characters, right? So here I just discarded the safer option of the 6 of characters, didn't get taken by the player on the right, and yeah, that was it. And let's skip to the end and see if I get this tile. And I did not get this tile, right? I dealt in with the white dragon, right? And if I show player's hands, right, you see that the player on the right was indeed going for the full flush, and the 6 of circles was indeed still in the wall and available. Okay. So let's move on to the next hand. Okay. Well, Okay, so we got a very good first draw, and we are already one away from calling. And the obvious discard here is the 7 of bamboo. Maximizes chances for the fan of all types, right? You just need to complete the shape in the character suit, and then we are all set. And here I further want to note, if the 4 of circles comes out from the player to your left, you can call it, right? It is possible to call it because you can just grab 6 more fan, because then you also have the mixed shifted chows as well, right? So you can look out for upgrades, right? If it's very early in the game and the self-picking a tile is not that valuable yet, you can consider just upgrading the value of your hand like this. But only if it comes out, right? If it doesn't come out, then it doesn't come out. Okay. Okay, so we upgrade the acceptance in the character suit. And we're just hoping that it comes out eventually.
吃吃
Still doesn't come out. Right, sometimes do like this, and now in this situation, what I've done is here already two white dragons have been discarded already. So, and none of the 6 of characters have been discarded. So, in my opinion, going for this pung in the 6 of characters is more valuable than keeping the chances alive at the last white dragon in the wall. So here I just discard the white dragon to increase my acceptance.
吃吃吃
Okay, still doesn't come
碰
out.
吃
Still doesn't come out. And now with these 2 green dragons discarded consecutively, I basically do not have a good way anymore to win this hand. So at this point, yeah, this tile is useless. Anyway, we can start folding our hand, right? So just discard all of the, so starting by the south wind, right? Or maybe not the south wind, because the south wind is actually quite dangerous, because if the player on the right hand side, he is likely going for all types, and he only has 2 outs left, the west wind and the south wind, which he could very well be on a single weight on. So,
虎
and he self-drew upper tiles, 38 fan, so another huge self-draw from another player. And show this player's hands. Okay, he has waiting on the west wind. No, he has all types, but he has 2 west winds in his hand. And the player on the right hand side, very curiously, waiting on the single south wind, right? So if we had thrown it, we would actually have dealt in, right? Because he has exactly 8 fan on the left one here. Okay, so let's move on to the next hand. Okay, so yeah, so first discard the honor tiles.
杠
Okay, there was a Kong. Again, if a Kong is made this early into the game, it is very likely there's going to be a wind or a dragon, right? So in this case, I suspect this is either the east wind or the white dragon. Okay, now we start thinking, and yeah, in this case, the most useless tile in our hand currently is either the 9 of circles or the 9 of bamboo. And the 9 of circles is actually very far away from anything, so I would just discard this one here.
碰
Okay, so the question here is, should you call this tile? Right? It's a very hard question. And yeah, you can maybe pause the video and think about this for yourself. So, in my opinion, here you should not call this tile because it removes a lot of the options on how your hand can develop from. So, what do I mean by this? Well, here you should always consider options like the pure straight, for example, and the character suit, which you only need one more draw of. If you call this tile, right, then you remove the option of getting a pure straight entirely. And yeah, by calling this tile, you basically have to go for something like this one, right? So then the only option or only feasible option for now becomes the mixed shifted chows, where you do not have 3 confirmed shapes for it, right? You still need to hope to draw something around the 5 of bamboo to realize this plan. Alright, and yeah, and even if you do not call this tile, right, you still have the option of drawing around the 5 of bamboo, right? You already have the makings of something like this, right? So sorry, you have this one potentially, and then you just draw something around the 5 of bamboo and you have something like this, right? This mixed shifted chows. And you also have the possibility of going something like this and drawing the exact same shape that I've shown before around the 5 of bamboo. So this plan is already accounted for by your other shapes that you have, right? So there is no need to call this 5 and a 6 right now to confirm the shape, right? But if you do so, right, I would say this is still fine, right? Let's see what I did here. I skipped this one, right? So here, if you call this one, it's fine, right? But right, it just removes a lot of the options of how your hand may potentially develop here. And let's have a look at that. Right, we draw into the 4 characters, and now we're in a very good spot, right? All of a sudden, the spot is very good. We draw into this one. Now, this draw actually doesn't do anything, right? Because we want actually a chow around this shape, right? Want 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5, right? In order to go for something like mixed shifted, right? So here I just discard one of these ones, these excess tiles here. Okay, now we are 1 away from calling, and yeah, just throw either the 5 of bamboo or the 4 of circles. I just discarded another 4 of circles, 1 away from calling, hoping to get the 8 of characters or and the 6 of characters. Okay, this actually doesn't do anything, so we just discard this right away. Okay, this also doesn't do anything. We should not con this one, right? It sounds good, but we are drawing a tile anyway in the next turn, so doesn't do all that much, right? We just lose Fan for potentially concealed hand. So okay, so this is very interesting. So now we discard the 5, because now if we draw right the 4 anything here in a pair instead, we can commit to another closed hand, right? So for example, right, just as an example, we draw a second 4 of characters for ourselves, right? Then our hand would look like this one. And now the question is, if the 8 of characters comes out from this ready hand, do we have enough Fan to win from other players, right? So let's count together. We would have closed concealed hand, 2 Fan, 2 concealed Punks, 2 Fan. We have the one of circles as a Pung, so we have triplets, so we have 5. We have 1 voided suit, we have no honors, so 7. We have middle weight, it's 8, and we also have the terminal chows for good measures, so we have indeed 8 Fan, right? And even if we draw, sorry, that was wrong, so even if we draw the, for example, 9 of characters into the pair, right, and we have this hand, and we can still count together how many Fans do we have. We have, again, concealed hand, 2 concealed triplets, we have the 1 of triplets, and this is already 5. We have no bamboo, 6, we have no honor, 7, and then we can only win on the 6 of characters discarded by someone else, so that would be short straight for 8 Fan. But this weight is also very good because we have a two-sided weight, 3 and a 6 of characters, which means higher chances of self-pick. So if we draw ready in any other way, right, so anything here, any tile in the character suit drawn is basically ready hand, right? You can also draw the 2 of characters, then you have something like this, right? Also enough, right? Waiting on the 8 of characters, also enough, right? Even if you end up in the single weight, also enough, right? Okay, so let's see what happens. We get to call the 8 of characters.
吃
We just got the 3 of circles. We're already waiting for the 6 of characters. Now, let's skip to the end of the hand and see if we get this.
胡
We didn't get it, right? Sometimes this also happens. Okay, let's move on to the next hand. Okay. So here, the easiest plan that we can, and the first plan you should see is, as soon as you have a wind pair coupled with some dragon tiles, right, you can basically try to see if you can get all types of somehow, right? Okay, so we get another shape in the character suit, and now we can start to prepare the shapes for the all types plan.
碰
We get the confirmed shape in the bamboo suit. So now it's pretty annoying that 2 of the green dragons are already discarded, right? 1 red dragon already discarded. So here in this point, we need to make a decision. And it's not an easy one, alright? Because with the 2 green dragons being so quickly discarded, the chances of you getting a dragon into the pair is actually diminished quite a bit. So what I thought here in this situation is that it might be possible also to pivot to chicken hand at some point, right, if the dragons run out completely. And so in this situation, I actually discarded the 6 of circles at this point, because again, if we draw something around the 6 of circles, we can still maybe go for have an outside chance of a mixed shifted chows, right, or chicken hand, right, if we draw something around the 6 of circles. So yeah, and actually I first discarded the green dragon here, because again, it's twice discarded already, so I want to maximize my chances for getting
碰
the chicken hand. And here I ponged the 3 of circles.
Pong.
And now the thing that stands in my way between the plan of chicken hand actually here is the 1 of characters, right? Because the pair of 1 of characters I cannot pung, right? Because it gives me 1 fan. But I still want to go for all types, right? I still want to keep the options for all types open. And in order to do this most efficiently here, I discard the 6 of circles, right? Because in all types, I cannot have another shape in the circle suit because I already have one. So I start discarding from there.
吃
And here I draw another 7 of characters. And here, although I can keep, I should throw away the 6 of circles to maximize acceptance of my hand going forward. Here I actually discarded the 1 of characters because this gives me more options of pivoting into chicken hand later if I draw something around this 6 of circles. So here I draw something around the 7 of characters, which is quite welcome.
Pong.
Increases my acceptance, and now I have the shape for in the character suit. So now the question is, what should I discard? And here the answer is this 7 of characters. All right, because there are actually a lot of tiles already being discarded around the 7 of characters, right? So the 8 twice out, the 6 we can already see 2, the 7 is already once out, 5 we see 2. So here 7 of characters should be an automatic discard. And now if we are 1 away from calling, and obviously want the red dragon, the south wind for all types, but remember we can also get something around the 6 of circles, right? So any two-sided weight around the 6 of circles, so 5 and the 7 of circles, allows us to wait for chicken hand, right? So let's see what we get. First, this is the second red dragon, is quite annoying. We get the south wind, we call this one, and now we are hoping to get the last red dragon, right? Still 1 out, still once in a wall. And let's skip to the end and see if we get it.
虎
And we got it with self-draw. So that's quite a nice surprise. Okay, so let's move on to the next hand. Okay, so again, we got the freest hand in the game, which is if we start with a dragon and a wind pair. So now we can just move on to all types, starting by discarding the 6 and the 3 of bamboo. The 9 and 3 of bamboo, obviously. Yeah, we have a very good shape in the circle suit already.
Pong.
Right, we can already prematurely discard the 7 of circles because this is we already have the best possible shape, namely the two-sided shape in the circle suit, so we don't need that.
Pong.
Right.
吃
Okay, we just don't need this. And we draw the 7 of characters as well, so we are 1 away from calling. And we deal in very, very unexpectedly, right, into a very huge hand, 7 pairs, right? Okay, sometimes it is like that, right? So sometimes you're just unlucky. Sometimes you're lucky, and sometimes you're unlucky. And this time, I was the unlucky person. Okay, so let's move on to this hand, and discard the honor tile. And now we start thinking. Okay, so this hand is actually a little bit tricky to play. So if you think about this hand, right, what you should notice, or right, what you should think about is where are the possible places where a fan could develop, right? Which tiles do I need? Which tiles to contribute? And yeah, so let's have a look here at the shape efficiency, right? And here knowledge in the Japanese Mahjong variant Richi might come in handy, because actually this shape on the right hand side here, the 6, 8 and 9 accepts the 7 of circles, but the 6 or the 9 of circles is quite redundant in this shape. And if you think about, okay, when is the 9 of circles useful here, right? It is useful in getting the 7, 8, 9 shape. To which fan does the 7, 8, 9 shape contribute, right? It could be mixed shifted chows, right? It could be this one. But the issue with this one is we do not have any of the bamboo shapes, bamboo tiles in our hand. We do not have the 6, 7 or 8. So this is not an option. Now if we consider mixed straight, which we do have the 4, 5, 6 as well, we can hope for something around the 3 of bamboo, right? Hoping for the 1 and the 2 of bamboo. Okay, so this is how the 7, 8, 9 can be useful. Now the question is, how can the 6, 7, 8 be useful? And the only way for it to be useful is with mixed shifted chows, right? But here in this case we have the 5, 6, 7, and this shape, this one connected here, so 1 down, is actually very useful. And because now we can accept either the 7 and 8, 9 of bamboo, which we have the 9 of bamboo in our hand, but we can also accept the 4, 5 and 6 of bamboo, which we have the 5 in bamboo in our hand. So if we keep the 9 of circles, we're hoping for the 1 and the 2 of bamboo, right? But if we keep the 6 of circles instead, we're hoping for the 6 and 7 and 8 of circles. We are hoping for the 4, 6, 7 and 8 of bamboo, so 2 tiles more. So therefore the 6 of circles is more valuable than the 9 of circles, right? So now what about the 3 of circles, right? Is the 3 of circles any use? We could also discard this one, alright? Because we already determined the rest of the tiles are quite useful, right? So what about the 3, right? And so if we draw anything around the 3 of circles, right? So for example, we draw the 2, so let's say we have this one, right? Then we also can hope for a mixed shifted chows like so, right? And the difference is, if this happens, right, the hand progress is actually very, very quick, right? So there's quick hand progress, right? Because the drawing something around the 3 of circles, right, we can expand our hand in a lots of ways, right? So we can accept more shapes in the character suit, right? So we can have, for example, right, this one, right? So if our character suit shapes expands, right, we have the 3, 4 and 5 of bamboo, right? And then we have the, for example, this one, right, for pure mixed triple chow, right? So the 3 of, I would actually I would like to draw something around the 3 of circles, right? It makes the hand more flexible in my opinion. So this is why in this spot I think the correct discard is the 9 of circles. Okay, we draw another 6 of circles. So we have 4 pairs at the moment, and yeah, so at this point I think we can already think about discarding the 3 of circles, right? Because now we are one step closer to all pungs, 7 pairs, right, and such. But we still want to keep the possibility open of this mixed shift chows with the 6 and the 7 and 8. Right, and if we draw something like the 4 of characters, 7 of characters, we already can also look forward to mix shifted pungs, right? So now we draw this one, and here now 2 of the 7 of bamboo have already been discarded, so yeah, so quite a tricky spot. Actually, in this situation, I already would think about confirming all pongs or 7 pairs. So here I just discarded this 4, right? Because now there are not many options left, right? The only plan left here is this mix shifted chouse, right? We do not need a 4 character for this one, so this is why I discarded here this tile here.
吃
Okay, now we have 5 pairs, and now we are 1 away from calling for 7 pairs, and now we should start by pursuing this plan and discarding based on acceptancy. So 1/8 of circles already discarded, so let's start by discarding this one. 1/7 of characters just discarded, so discard this one. 2/8 of bamboo discarded, right? Just very pragmatic play. 1/4 of circles, right? Just following. And now we're calling. And the question is, what weight do we take? And here, in my opinion, the edge tile are a bit more likely to come out.
吃
And yeah, we can maybe change our weight, but in this case, I chose to believe in this 1 of characters, and I will skip to the end because I will not change from this weight. And let's see if I get this one.
虎
I did not get this one, right? So sometimes this happens, and if we show the other player's hands and see how many of this tile was available, then we see it's still twice in the wall. So my assumption that this tile was very likely to be available was indeed correct, but it did not come out. Okay, so let's move on to the next hand. And here there's nothing more to say about this hand other than it's a typical half flush hand. You only have 3 tiles that do not contribute to this farm, so we can just start by discarding these in order. Well, obviously we call this one. And we just discard everything that does not fit into our plan. Okay, that's a nice tile. That's also quite nice. And okay, now we can call this tile, and the question is in which fashion should we call this tile? And the correct answer is we call with a 3 and a 5 of characters,
吃
discarding the 1 of characters for the maximum possible acceptance for this 1 away. So now we have the maximum acceptance possible,
吃
and we just need to draw basically any character tile. For example, this one. We discard the 4 of characters, waiting on the 6 of 9, and let's skip to the end and see if we get this one. And we didn't get it. The round ended in a draw. Okay, let's move on to this hand. Discard the honor tile, and okay. Already a very interesting decision. Should we call this one? And now the answer here is definitely yes. We should very, very quickly call this tile, because now if we call this, we have the 2, 3, and 4. We already see the 3, 4, and 5 in the bamboo suit, and we already see the possibility of the 4, 5, 6 in the character suit. So mix shift the chouse. Here we go.
碰
Oh, it was ponged away. Okay. So now this makes the situation quite tricky. Okay, we draw into this one. And yeah, now the question is, what should we do? Right? And yeah, it's not easy to decide. But in my opinion, right, dropping the 2 of circles is fine. The 3 of circles is also fine, right? We can still get the 1 of circles. right? That's still available, the 1 of circles. And yeah, the 4 of circles still once available, although it's last tile. This early into the game, you'll never know. Maybe the player on your left draws it, or you yourself draw it, right? This can happen. So here I decided to drop the 3 of circles. Okay, this is a prime shape, and you should definitely call this one.
吃
Now the question is, what should you discard? And here the lone 8 of bamboo also does not really contribute to anything. Can be discarded quite comfortably.
吃
Okay, now the question is, should you call this one? And the answer is yes, you should definitely call this one. You get it, you get this bad shape, you should definitely call this one, because now you also have the option of going for a mixed shifted chouse if you draw something around the 5 of bamboo.
吃
Okay, so now what should you discard, right? And in this case, your discard should definitely be either the 2 or the 3 of circles. Alright, why? Because we already established we want to draw something around the 5 of bamboo, right? So you definitely want to keep this one. But what you also want is to draw something around the 2 of characters, because now you also have the possibility of going for a pure straight if you manage to do so. So, and you also want the possibility of maybe going for a melded hand, right? You can just call everything very quickly. You get into ready hand for melded hand, right? You can still win this way. So this is why I discarded the 3 of circles.
Peng.
Okay. And we indeed drew something around the 2 of characters. And now we also managed to call this shape. And now we are 1 away from calling. And here, in order to maximize the chance of drawing to the pair, I discarded the 1 of bamboo. Because if we manage to call even the other tile, we can get into a ready hand for melded hand. Okay, we drew into this pair instead, but in fact this is not a problem. Here you should make a ready hand by discarding the 5 of characters, because the 4 of bamboo is actually the last tile. Right? Look at the opponent. Opposite from us, we have the pong of the 4 of bamboo. So this 4 of bamboo, if it comes out, would be the last tile. And if we count the score of our hand, we have last tile 4, all chouse 6, middleweight 7, and we have terminal chouse in the character suit. So 8 fan. We have exactly 8 fan with the last 4. And even better, if the player opposite of us draws it himself, he would very likely Kong this tile. And then we also have robbing the Kong. So yeah, there are no more upgrades to this hand. So let's skip to the end and see if we get this one.
胡
There we got it. From the player to our right. Okay, so let's move on to the next steal. Okay, so yeah, this hand is very, very good, right? We already see this pure straight that I still left there, right? So pure straight is the obvious plan in this hand. 4 of characters, if it comes, call it immediately. It's 9 of characters, call it immediately. But first let's discard all of the honors. Right? Oh, that's also a very good draw.
Peng.
Okay, so now with this draw, in addition to pure straight, we also have the possibility of going to get a mixed straight like this. So the 8 of circles and the 1 of bamboo does not contribute to this plan, so we should discard both of them. So this one
吃
and the other one. And we are one away from calling. Again, if the 9 of characters comes out, you should still call this for sure. Right, we're one away from calling, and now we get this tile,
吃
and we are calling for the 6 of circles for mixed straight. So let's skip to the end and see if we get this one.
胡
We didn't get this one. Okay, so let's move on to the next hand. We're in second place right now, and yeah, the distance to the first place is still manageable, right? So one self draw and we are back in first place. Okay. Okay, we're in the east seat and we have this beautiful hand right here. And yeah, so this hand is actually not as straightforward as you may think. So obvious plans is again the pure straight in the character suit, which you can call yourself into, and other plans maybe involve all chows, all simples, right? So if you discard, for example, the one of bamboo, right, this would already put you at one away from calling for this hand. So this hand is already one away from calling, so it's actually a very good starting hand, but it's also not very easy to get yourself 8 fan, right? You really wanted this to draw the 4 of characters by yourself in order to achieve this one. Okay, but here I discarded the 9 of characters, right? So in retrospect, here, as I said, I should have discarded the 1 of bamboo in this position, right? But probably why I discarded this one is because I still wanted to keep my chances open for a mixed straight like this one, right? So if the 9 of circles comes out, I can call this one with a 7-8, and yeah, hoping to call into the 4 of characters as well, right? So for this one. Okay, that is a very interesting draw. And yeah, also I wasn't quite sure what I should have gone for in this position, but yeah, so here I discarded the 8 of circles because again I wanted to pursue this plan of a mixed straight that I've shown here, and if I called the 9 of circles I would have discarded the 8 of circles anyway, so I started by discarding this one. And I'm also one away from calling. So this tile is not very useful. Also not very useful.
碰
And yeah.
吃
So here this tile, obviously, I want to call this tile, right? But yeah, let's see if I called this one. I didn't, right? But I was rewarded immediately with drawing the 4 of circles. And now I am calling for the 1 and the 2 of bamboo. But in this case, although I'm calling right now, I'm actually not, right? Even if I self-draw the 2 of bamboo, I do not have 8 fan, right? So if we count together, if let's assume I draw the 2 of bamboo by myself, what do I have? I have fully concealed hand 4, all chows 6, short straight 7, and that's it. I do not have middleweight because I've actually 2 tiles I'm waiting for. So if accounting for this one, I actually should have discarded the 1 of bamboo, right? Because I'm actually not calling, right? Although I'm ready, I'm not calling. So yeah.
碰
Okay, but now I find an upgrade to my hand, right? Because now I can actually hope for upgrading my basically this hand is ready, but because I do not have 8 Fan in every single instance, my hand is actually one away from calling. Right? Do you know what I mean? So here with this discarding of the 1 of bamboo, I upgrade my 1 away from calling. Right? So in this case, I have a very, very big acceptance in the character suit, which you will see right now. I can call this tile,
吃
discard the 3 of bamboo, and I'm waiting for the 5 of characters for pure shifted chows. And it looks weird because I already discarded this tile very, very early into the game, right? But again, hand development may lead to the craziest of situations. So now I'm calling. Let's skip to the end and see if I get the 5 of characters.
虎
And I get it with self-draw, and I am now in a comfortable first place going to the last round of the game. Okay, so this hand is very likely to go into, again, half flush territory, right? 4 shapes for half flush. So let's discard accordingly, and it's, again, very easy hand to play. So not much to see here in this round. Just click right through it. Right, just discard.
碰碰
Accordingly, we call everything that we can get.
吃
Okay, there's nothing here yet. This was a good draw.
碰
So we call this one. We get this one. Now the question is what you should discard, and here the player on my left, which is my direct competitor, right, and he's in second place. I do not want him to win off of me, right? Maybe he has a pure straight, right? Half flush pure straight. This can definitely happen. And the north wind is twice discarded, so here I just chose the safer option, discarding the north wind. We call this tile we are calling,
虎
and we get the winning tile immediately, and we end up the round in first place. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of this analysis. I hope you have learned something, right? There were easier and more trickier hands in this round, right? I also made a couple of mistakes, right, which I saw in the analysis just now. But again, this the real games are played with a 10-second timer to think. So coming out with the correct plan within 10 seconds is not always the easiest tasks. But yeah, there are also some very easy hands, right? So these half flush hands, right, they are very straightforward, so nothing much to learn there. But the other hands, I hope you have noticed something that maybe you wouldn't have done, right, and can improve your game based on this, what I said today. So thank you for watching, and if you liked this content, please like and subscribe to our channel. And yeah,